Ladies and gentlemen, I am the War Boss. We welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are in Dyrwood Village. I have a dragon egg to turn in. I turned in the quest about the ogre and actually went back and changed one of my answers, so he's now hanging out at our keep, providing security. Although our prestige did take a hit because, quite frankly, nobody likes a 10-foot tall ogre that eats entire herds of pigs. Personally, I've kind of felt bad for the guy. He just wants to survive. He was trying to do so as far away from people as possible, but civilization kept finding him. Today, while we have the key to get into that creepy little ruin in the Dyrwood Crossing, there's a few things that we need to talk about first. And we're going to start with our buddy Sid here.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
Yeah. Redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of melody as she goes. First time at the Draco again? You normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. So, are you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I can tell you about them all the same. Sure, let's have it. Palagina rolls her golden eyes and exhales for an excessively long time through her nose. It was built in the time of Hadrit's Rebellion. An Ondarian lady Thanu once had a keep here, when the tower still stands, but the rest is said to be buried deep under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrit's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thamu's castle, they say. Supposedly the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place where the locals built their new town. What do you mean by supposed to be? Dyrwoodians are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfathans and their nearby ruins. Hadrit's Knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings had formed in town wanting to go to the tribes the same way that they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Idarians. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Blackened Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others I've heard found their way into the Gilded Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. The support one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rivals in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Tell me about the Broken Stone War. First major conflict between the original Adarian settlers and the Glanfathans. Happened 3 years into colonization when some farmers knocked over an Admihir as part of an Ingwithan ruin. Adramihir. The war didn't last long, but spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists didn't realize there was a war going on until the Glanfathan raiders hit their villages. There had been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then. This was organized, and at the start of the decades of violence between the colonials and the Glanfathans. As you can see, Dyrwood's full of history, even little villages like this. Tell me about the War of Black Trees. It started back in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and Glanfathans, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edring Hadrit, Admeth's father, was a grief of the time. As part of the peace negotiations, he signed treaties prohibiting Adarian colonists from looting Ingwithan ruins. However, he'd been able to outlaw the use of captured Glanfathans as slaves. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glanfathan slaves would continue to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Dyrwood, began looting the ruins again. See, the Empire had never really agreed to Hadrit's treaties on the matter. The recent secession of the Valiant Republics left them eager to weaken Hadrin's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign amongst the Glanfathans. Edric Hadric was told to lead the forces into battle, so he sent his son Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision to end the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Isen Inn River to keep the Glanfathan war bands from retreating. Thousands of Glanfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Dyrwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks. And we know that part of that were souls that reincarnated into
perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Let's see.
Gods keep you.
Also, many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? What was your exchange with that nobleman about? Folk around here are decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in? Go talk to them yourself. Fair enough. Let's go do that. The man wears a dare-style robe, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hind twined around his silk-gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
Apparently not.
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice. My daughter. I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
My lord, a mercenary. If you find her, tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Elise, my child, is safe. Nothing in this world is more important to me. Alright, let's ask a few questions.
Elise. Of course.
Describe her. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than me. There's auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. You should know that. What about her disappearance? We stopped in Dyrwood for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was planning plans to continue our journey. Lady Elise was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've had yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. Why did you come to Dyrwood? Merely a stop on our way to Anna's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's an Anna's Rest? Lady Elise has reached a year where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many hollowborn. There are better roads along the coast. Wouldn't it have been easier to follow than Anna's Rest? If I thought that, I would be slogging through this forest, would I? The main roads are clogged with people fleeing one way or another to try to escape Wadwin's legacy. It would be difficult for a caravan like mine to pass without incident. At the time, it seemed prudent to move quietly through the back roads. And we have a lore option, because we took lore. It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Harimer or New Yarman. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in Anna's Rest. Where's the rest of your family? Sure they won't miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Hadron is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately Elise has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Elise's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adir these past months. As for siblings, Elise has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn, since Elise, that is. I see, but going back to your daughter. Let's go back to my previous questions. Are you arguing with the innkeeper?
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Elise.
That's why I'm hoping you can help. Should have never trust these people around my child. Tell me about
I'm
yourself.
Lord Nestor Harrand of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Haomar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
Fair enough. Alright, so search Dyrwood for information about Elise's disappearance. Oh, one thing I will say, I do love the music. Okay. I fear that Orlin hovers by the window, peering about it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering above her over her stiletto. She cranes her head to look behind you. You can follow who sent you. What are you talking about? The man leaning against the wall glances out the door and nods to the Orlin. Some old friends from Defiance Bay are looking for me. We're not exactly friends anymore, if you catch my drift. I'm just trying to lie low and mind my own business. Know what I mean? Boss. Alright, alright. My friend here thinks you could help us out. Now, I'm sure you're a busy man, so I'll make it worth your time. Just go look around town. Come back and let me know if the coast is clear or you see any suspicious figures. Sorry, but Meredith made a better offer. Yeah, we're not. I don't care about these people. Let's see what we can do with her. Soul ignition. That sounds fun. I did switch out their AI to make them a little bit more useful.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's finish. No.
Let's go.
I don't know who that is on the ground right there. Oh, must have been somebody's pet. Alright. Oh, we got some fine mail armor and some weapons here. Fine dagger, fine saber, stiletto, and sword. Faded Gwilmore, Night Runner armor. Plus 2 damage reduction, plus 2 stealth, 15 defense when disengaging. That's kind of nice. And I'm betting that's the thing that we're looking for. Nope. Oh, and this little piggy right here is our gift for completing the thing with the ogre. He's really cute.
Laying low.
Alright, do we see anything else around here? I don't see anything. Ah, well. That was really the whole reason we came up here, but...
That's not nice. All done.
Yeah, it may not be nice, but you did it, didn't you?
That's not nice.
It took me a while to realize that nobody cares if you
All
steal
done.
stuff as long as they don't see you. And even then, they still mostly don't care. Yeah, and that's just a couple of backers. We're not going to bother with them. Let's go back downstairs. Actually, let's get out of the inn. Now, one of the other changes that I did that I thought would be of interest is that
Your own father sold you to the Brotherhood?
He hated me anyway. I was glad to be gone. The Dukes are my parents now. The Republics, my children.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
well, considering that Godborn are sterile, that's pretty much the only way to look at it.
Hey.
Anyway, what I was going to say is I also added a 2-weapon option for Adair. When we're fighting lots of little enemies, being able to put out more damage is more useful than trying to tie down a dozen guys. And to be completely honest, I've never really gotten the hang of the engagement gear nonsense anyway, so we'll try this out. If we like it, not a big deal. And yes, he's going to get hit more often, but he also has that those boots of whatever, so.
Gods keep you.
I already found her. She's dead. Oh. In that case, you have a continued gratitude of House Domino. So as a continued support, you have my thanks for getting me out of this mud hole even sooner. Farewell. The wax marker added. Quest expires in 3 days. And can we just take a moment to look at
I'm ready.
mention how badass Palangina looks in profile with that armor and sword? That's so nice. Okay, 35 plus 35% experience, the Hellwax mold, a bunch of money, it's a major item. Let's see. Promise of Magahan, the wizard inventor Galfin spent decades creating devices that can mimic magical effects and properties. So the wizards viewed his work with disdain, but one area of research intriguing to the elites, a device that could replicate entire magical objects. His research was an enchanted mold. When he died of old age, his remote workshop was eventually plundered by southern barbarians who had been sacking the province for years, and his work has been lost. Recently, an anonymous patron has been inquiring across the Eastern Reach for aid in recovering some of his research notes using leads that were discovered by unknown means. Who do we send to that? Kana. That is absolutely something that sounds like a Kana quest. Yeah, she's I mean, don't get me wrong. They're all very badass looking. It's just, they're impressive. This game is still so pretty. I think it's a little bit unoptimized, but just for sheer levels of graphical chutzpah, I guess would be the term to use, it is amazing. Now, oh, we have a note that might help here. I very nearly forgot. That one, no. I'd like to rest. I was pretty sure I'd taken it. Well, no, I think it's bloodstained. Tattered note? No, that's something else. These are the assassins that keep coming after me because they don't learn. Exhibition log page, blah blah blah. Cultist groundkeeper level. New. Letter home. Falanas letter. Falanas travels. Is it a crumpled note? No. Now that was from the Endless Paths, which we reached the bottom of. More Endless Paths. No, I don't care about that at all. Hold on a second. Here we go. Tattered note. Note is bloodstained and torn, and the edges are smudged with some kind of pigment. When scraps are illegible, you can make out hastily written instructions. To avoid the entrance of the tower, traffic through my shop would attract the attention. Dyrwood may be sympathetic to our goals, but they wouldn't approve of a temple yet. Key to the entrance down by the river, east of town, but be careful on the road reports of these days. Okay, so by the tower, traffic to the shop. Now, there we go. That gives us a journal entry. That's not what we're looking for, nor is that. Alright. Search Dyrwood about Elise's appearance. Note mentioned a secret temple of some sort with an entrance near the river and another in the tower behind a shop that was stained with splotches of some kind of pigment and signed T. So that means we don't have to run around going into every freaking building and going through every load screen. We can just do this. The tannery. I think it's a tannery. Alright. I can't find it anywhere. I never... Talk about this later. Get back to the dyes. I'll take care of the customer. Stay out of my private quarters. That goes for you and Hadron's bootlickers. I was trying to talk to you,
well met,
asshole.
friend.
What do you have for sale? Girdle of mortal protection. Restore damage. Regeneration. +1 endurance per 3 seconds. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna buy that. I guess I could sell you some of the crap I'm carrying that I don't need. Like, for example, I don't need that. I don't need this, 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 or this. I don't need that, 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 or that. So I've just made a bunch of money. Thanks for that. Now then. What can you tell me about Elise Hadron? One of her father's men have been banging down doors and stirring up trouble looking for her. I've never met her myself. Okay. I've learned about a secret temple staying with Diant Sign T. Know anything about it? I'm wondering if what happened to my colleague. Thanks for finding that. You saved me a lot of trouble. He raises his axe. So somebody just committed suicide. Well, I'm glad I bought from him before we talked. He didn't have any of the things in his inventory actually on him. This fellow, on the other hand, actually had a fine saber and dagger, so he was actually better equipped to fight than the other guy. Adra, gold, nice. What is this over here? Courier's key. Interesting. Probably, yeah, there we go. Oh, that could have gone better. And we have a Journal Jonas. Oh, crap, it's these guys. Well, I had a feeling I was going to recognize this. My son, tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow I become Skane's embodiment on Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. Yeah. That's... the Skane worshippers are, shall we say, creepy bastards. I'll explain why in a minute. Yeah, so the followers of Skane, they cut off their nose and ears, they hurt themselves with a whip, and they do all this to bring about, basically become almost like an avatar of Skane, who then leads an uprising against their oppressors, quote unquote.
Curses!
Why is her sword glowing? Kind of interesting. Anyway. So, stained and rumpled bedroll appears to have been used recently. We have the crude symbol of Skane, painted on canvas and streaks look like blood. And they probably are somebody's blood.
That's not nice. All done.
Yeah, these people are psychos. I don't feel bad for taking their shit.
That's it!
Alright, let's see what we got here. Not pain block. Yeah, that'll do.
Let's go.
Nice and easy.
Right.
So the one thing I don't remember is where to go in here. But I do remember I don't like these guys a lot. Well, I think we found where we need to go.
Let's go. Let's
Alright. Oh, somebody got back up. Let's fix that. Yeah, and these guys are annoying. A lot of poison use. Alright, so Skane cultist robes that we will not be wearing because stealth is not going to be something that we bother with in this fight. Oh, you're fine. Didn't even scratch your paint job. Ooh, a diamond. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see here. Soul ignition. You know what? You're kind of far away.
What?
So we don't, yeah, let's do Flames of Devotion. Oh yeah, that did some nice damage right there, and we'll mark this target. Come on, everybody, get a piece in there.
Let's go.
Everybody want to attack him? Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, not the toughest bunch, but they do tend to travel in groups, so that can be annoying. Just basic crap for the most part.
Sure.
But the loot's good. Oh, hello. Nah, you thought I missed you, didn't you? Remember the first time I did this, I had such trouble with these guys. And I was possibly underleveled. I was definitely undergeared. And what we got here? List of names. This crease sheet of paper contains a list of names. Some have been crossed off. Eat it. Leaves a window open at night. Small house on the edge of Kindle Vale. Gerto, visiting from Old Valley, doesn't speak a Darren, keeps to himself, won't be missed. Yeah. Basically people that they've been kidnapping and sacrificing. Because they're jerks. Final Journal, Jonas. Okay, so we already have a copy of that. Now we have 2 copies, that's fine. Torture rack is splattered with blood and gouged by fingernails. Yes, lovely people, these. That's clearly trapped.
Well, well.
Oh, for a little bit of silver. Let's check out the rest of the rooms in this area before we go trapezing through. Thought there'd be more guys. Wow, that missed. That was a crappy trap. Ooh. Mantle of Wreathing Flame. Grants Frenzy Orma flaming Wreathing Flames 3 times per rest. 6 damage reduction. Characters hitting a user get 5 to 10 burn damage. Don't know who I'm going to give that to. I'll certainly think about it. I just got a Garnet, Potion of Major Endurance, and a Rope Grappling Hook. From Common Rapier and some silver. Scanonite Scripture. Burn. Feel thy hatred twist within thyself. Feed thyself on its bile. Sustain it thyself on its anger. This hatred, this bile, this anger, these shall be the tools for thy rebellion. Let thine heart seethe. There is no satisfaction in open confrontation. Hide thine hatred. Let it grow that it may fester. Make thy plots in secret. The quiet slave stays in the shadows. His face seeks not the light. In darkness doth he work, in darkness doth he move. Will rebel against those who seek to control thee. Rebel against those who wish to remove thee. Yeah. They're the by all means necessary group, honestly.
That's it. Let's go.
Oh wow, they all got stunned by that wave. That was freaking awesome. That worked. Yeah. And as always, we are cleaning up on the loot. Which I don't think we really need, but... Oh, shit. Hello. Oh yeah, these guys are also berserkers. That's why you can't see their health. Not that it particularly helps them at all. I don't even think this is a matter of being over leveled. I think this is just a matter of having better gear. I didn't have much of anything in the way of good armor or weapons last time I did this, so Psalm to Wodiga. Well, it appears that I don't have as much time as I thought I would. Good thing I recorded Fallout New Vegas before this. But we will use the time that we have. Skein Bone. That is useful for something, but I'll be damned if I know what. Hello, Temple Fanatic. Why are you not getting your hits in, kiddo? Oh, because she switched back to a rapier for some odd reason. You know, I think we'll do Mind Blades. I like Mind Blades. Back to the bow, young lady. I just kind of figured the bow would be a better option. Freaking Durrance just shoots his ass in the back like, yeah, no, fuck you. We're good.
Sure.
Odds of that being trapped, survey
Keep an eye
says.
out.
It's not.
That's not nice.
Fair
All
enough.
done.
And that's another one of their banners. Oh, hello. We'll come back to that. That is how you would get in from the ruins. I think there are actually some enemies on that side, but nothing that we're going to worry about. Now we get 210 experience for the level 7 difficulty lock. That's kind of cool. So I'm sure there are some other bad people that we can go with smiting around here. Open with old dungeon key, which we picked up earlier. How very convenient. Nice, get you first. Yeah, we're not taking prisoners, so kill him, please. Thank you. Oh, come on.
There are mines.
Not even bothering with powers, just sheer weapon strength is enough to get this job done. Ooh, and a fine blunderbuss. Which, not a bad weapon for a cipher because they build focus on every hit. Blunderbuss does kick out about 8 hits per shot. Yeah, they freaking slit his wrist to fill their pool with blood. As you approach the blood pool, the viscous liquid churns and bubbles. You feel essence rising to the surface, reaching out to you, whispering. Someone should clean that up. Ugh, who would create such a vile thing? Some strange power seems to be animating the blood. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that whatever it isn't benevolent. A place of death, we should not linger here. A bubbling cauldron of Skaldron's hateful seed. Maybe sniveling cowardly in his ways, but he's never lacked for focus. And let's take a look at this. You find yourself surrounded by 100 men and women. Their naked flesh is scoured and bloody, or skinned and covered with flies. Their eyes are missing, replaced with glittering black stones. What's this? Another soul come to rage and burn, or merely to watch? Maybe a long time waiting. Our work today is already finished. You were all sacrificed to Skane, weren't you? We were sacrificed to the whims and hungers of the rich and powerful. What we gave here, that was our decision. No, it wasn't. Our fury burned within us and quenched and unfed, but hate can be fashioned into a weapon by those willing to pay the price. In life we were weak, but in death we made a choice. Choice carries power. You can now escape your pressures and move on. During a life of toil and abuse, not before we exact our revenge. You also know the potential for cruelty. We have a proposal that might suit you. It is so rare that we touch the soul of another, we grow bored. Hungry. Give us one of your companions, any of them. Let the essence of another join us, and we will share the power with you. No one will ever know. You only think the name, your will shall give us the power to strike your chosen down. Fuck off. Then go. We have nothing left to share. Nope. Yeah, we're not doing that. Not about that life. I'm not sacrificing any of my people. I mean, if I was going to sacrifice... If it was worth sacrificing anybody, maybe Durrance. Cryptmaster's Key. Their journal. It's like their Bible. No lockpicks. This way. Alright, maybe
I'll
we
see
should
what
look
I
for
can find.
traps. Alright, do we have any drugs that'll help with that? I mean, that's the dare. He likes his drugs. Let's see, for mechanics. Maybe a spell that would help? Yeah, +3 mechanics. There we go. Where'd the scroll go? Damn it. Okay, he can't use it, but he can.
How may I help?
Well, well.
Sure.
+3 stealth, nice. No, you guys are so fucked. We took a time to go into a rage first, that's fine. That was kind of cool. You know, it's funny. If I was evil, I could have sacrificed somebody. Not how I roll. And honestly, I don't know what it gives her, and I, quite frankly, don't care. Waymund, a large bull-necked man hood in a hood helps a young elven woman down from a glass chamber connected with a dizzying array of cables and machinery. Her skin and clothing glisten with fresh blood.
You may feel a little lightheaded for the next hour or two, but that will pass. Have a meal and get some sleep when you return to town. The transfusion. The transfusion will be smoothest if you relax and rest. The implanted essence already has a hold on your mind, so fighting it will be useless. And I hope our new visitor does not complicate matters overly.
What's going on here?
Subversion. The black sheep cousin of justice. Or haven't you heard Lord Heron's tale of woe about a missing daughter and an impending marriage? He's sent his soldiers to scour the village while he bides his time at the Dracogen Inn. I don't expect you to understand what I'm doing. Neither the rituals of Scan nor the labors of animancy meet with much approval in polite society. But unsightliness reminds polite society that there are limits. When no one pays attention to the excesses and debaucheries of a lord, you give them something they can't look away from.
Haran said he was taking her to Elena's Rest to find a suitor, but a few pieces of the story didn't add up.
Did a bit of digging, did you? That's more that can be said for most.
I figured that out just talking to the man.
Lord Heron's been telling everyone she's his daughter. He brought her all the way out here just to avoid anyone who might know differently. She's his niece, and she's carrying his child.
Such evil this crisis has wrought, to force a child on the daughter of one's own blood, unthinkable. Why would he do that?
Heron's own wife's delivered nothing but Hollowborn. Now he's got no heir, and his sister's child, Elise, is reaching the age to marry. Without progeny of his own, Heron's legacy would pass to her issue. So, he found a way to continue his own noble line by putting his child in this girl, his own niece.
And I doubt it was consensual. And animancy is part of your plan to destroy him?
This isn't just about Heron to the girl. It's about the corrupting influences of power and wealth. How people of privilege, people like Herent, are so often insulated from the consequences of their actions. The charged essence of dozens of maltreated slaves and underlings is already taking root in her mind. Once it's established, it'll drive her to murder her uncle, her aunt, and anyone foolish enough to get in her way. People won't be able to look away from Herent's sins then.
And that's the problem. Massacre doesn't help anybody. Seems like a lot of trouble to go through, and a simple lynch mob will do. They don't get a lot of things right, but this kind of thing they know what to do with.
I do not wish to destroy Nestor Herent. I wish to end his entire rotten line. His name will become a curse among strangers. The deeds of his house will be eclipsed by his ruin. Foes will hear his name and shudder with pity. And any relatives who should survive him will abandon their fortunes just to rid themselves of the association.
Never works that way, though. Watch her don't let this girl and her child become fodder for revenge. Let me touch her mind. I can free her from the snare, as well as from the memories that hold her captive. Do it. Thank you, Watcher. Yeah. Just for a moment, Elisa's eyes close. When they open again, her expression is blank. But as she takes in the scene before her, you, Wyman, and the machine are in the strange dark room, her confusion turns to fear. She lets out a choked cry.
Kill them. All of them. If she can't destroy Herent, then we can destroy his legacy with her.
Yeah. No, she's innocent. That's not happening.
Lava! Lava! Beyond the secret!
Let's see what we got here. Amplify a wave. I don't mind if I do. Okay, you need to die. You need to die. There we go.
That's it!
There. Ah! Have at least 20 resolve. Resolve plus dexterity, blah blah blah. Immune to confused and dazed. Excellent. And when blinks, you takes a few steps back. Stay away, I don't know what happened here. Skane Cultists kidnapped you. But what? Helia's wings, I hardly remember a thing. She pauses, her brow furrowing. She mutters something dialect of Rotai, then Valian. Be nome. No, my name is Elise. A liar. Opening notes of the false knight. You're a young noble who was taken advantage of by unscrupulous relatives. I know I can't go back to the village, though I don't remember why. I certainly can't stay here. It's a temple on the edge of town. I'm sure the clergy will help you find someplace safe. That's good advice. I won't look back. Okay. So now she's safe. You know, these jerks. Ooh, push out the same. And Wyman's key. These are bad people. Very, very bad people. But I think overall that went very, very well. We have a Took. It's a unique dagger. 12 to 17 damage, plus 5 accuracy. Exceptional. 10% hits converted to crits. Not too bad. And his notebook. Yeah, he wasn't in this for revenge. He was in this to try out to continue his experimentation on gullible people. How unsurprising. Ornate crest decorates the sarcophagus, and the name of it has been scratched out. So I forget where the hell we are. Oh, back where we started. Fantastic. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have been the War Boss. We're going to call it quits here. I have my family coming home, and I will do some looting for this area off screen, but I think it's time that we deal with the fallout of our actions and move on from there. So until next time, I've been the War Boss. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.